A hex, a curse, a jinx, the evil eye. What could cause an individual to actually cast any of these baneful workings? Could it be malice, evil in one's heart, maybe jealousy, envy, pain, trauma? Either way, these spells have been used for centuries from all different walks of life, and whether you like it or not, it's part of magic.
Hi earthy people, welcome back to my channel. I'm Gerard, Witch of Earth's Curious Goods, and today I decided that I was going to make a video on jinxes, hexes, curses, and the evil eye. I figured I was making these videos to give you information on how to hex and about curses, and I just thought about it. What if you don't even know about curses or hexes? Or maybe you're not very savvy at what they are or how they come about or anything of that nature. So I thought maybe I should just give some foundational work on it. So that's what today's video is about. So pull up a chair, sit down, relax, and let me go over a few of these things that may come in handy in the future. Without further ado, let's begin. I would like to say that all of these things that I'm about to go over kind of is in the umbrella of baneful work. Now, why I say kind of is because you also need this knowledge about these things in order to do an anti-spell against it, to protect yourself from it. So I'm a firm believer that what is baneful is also helpful, and what's helpful can also be baneful. So it's all part of the same thing, I guess, or part of the same entity or umbrella or whatever you want to call it. I don't know. So that I'm not rambling on. Oh, aren't these so cute? A friend of mine gave me these earrings just to be off topic. It's the crescent moon. I don't know if it's coming through, but thank you, Mad, if you're watching this video. Anyhow, side note. So the first one I want to talk about is going to be about jinxes. And a jinx is a spell that is cast upon you in the form of mischief. It is considered to be something that causes a lot of misfortune in your life, or a series of misfortunes in your life. In my opinion, a jinx is the lesser of the four that I'm about to go over. Jinxes are something that is very irritating. It is something that can cause some unfortunate things that happen in your life, but they're not life altering in my opinion. They're more of, it's irritating that it happened. It's like you just got your new car and you got a flat tire, and then while you're trying to fix your flat tire, you ran out of gas. And then you ran out of gas, but there's no gas stations nearby. It's a series of unfortunate events that are happening to you. So not quite life-altering, but it's very irritating, right? I know that would be very irritating to me. I have been, under a jinx before. Getting rid of a jinx, in my opinion, is a lot easier than the other three that I'm about to go over. Jinx, once it's on you, kind of runs its course, and then it just kind of goes away or dissipates. If it doesn't, then you can just do a cleansing. You can also do a banishing off of you, an anti-jinx. All of these things can help just get rid of it really quickly if you do have a jinx on you or you're finding it. I always thought that a jinx is so interesting to me because if some of you remember when you're younger, when you and like a sibling, for instance, or a friend said the same word at the same time, you would say jinx, and then you would either hit them or tell them you can't take it back. So I thought it was very interesting that a jinx in the realm of magic is baneful. But when it came to folklore or how we're using it in daily life, I mean, even now I still kind of hear it from time to time where people go jinx when they say the same thing at the same time. But I would like to think of a jinx as just something that's more temporary. It's not, it's not life altering. So just remember that it's really easy to kind of remove a jinx. And sometimes you can actually jinx yourself. A lot of a school of thought behind a jinx is that you could actually put a jinx upon yourself. It's like you're thinking of something, you getting that new job and you overthinking about that new job, and they're not going to hire me, or it's all that negative thinking. It's like you're jinxing yourself. So there's a lot of magical people out there, a lot of witches that tend to be silent about their craft or silent about the good news because they don't want to jinx their workings. They don't want to jinx the good luck or the good news that's happening to them. Me personally, I think it should be shared, right? Especially with nowadays. If you guys have, even turned on the news, you guys kind of see how loud negativity can be. So in my opinion, sharing good news, sharing good things is a good thing. Don't be afraid to do so, in my opinion. But if you do find yourself being a subject of a jinx or have a jinx on you, just know you can get rid of it. Okay, the next one I want to go over is a hex. A hex, in my opinion, causes fast retribution. A hex can be very life-altering as well, depending on what the hex is supposed to do. And with a hex, usually the witch or the magic practitioner has to channel that. So they're channeling it to the target. So they have a poppet and they're looking at that poppet and they're channeling that energy to the poppet to be like-minded to the actual subject or the target. So a hex can be very damaging in that aspect because you're channeling baneful energy towards that target. Now, when it comes to a hex, it tends to mess things up in your life, okay? It really causes a commotion, it causes some destruction, and then it goes. I think of a hex like a tornado, right? A tornado touches down, it does its damage, and then it moves on. So that's how I view a hex in an aspect of like a tornado, coming through, wrecking your life, then leaves. That tornado, of course, has to be channeled. The winds, are channeling into a funnel. So not to come off topic with a tornado or anything, but just to give you an example, a visual of what a hex kind of looks like when it's entering your life. Now, there's a school of thought that the word hex is connected to the word witch or witchcraft. In a lot of history or cultures, you can see what's called hex signs. These were signs that were created to ward against witchcraft, ward against that spell that's coming towards, your farm, your family, towards you. In my opinion, in my experience, it's usually a spell that has to be channeled by the actual practitioner or the witch to the actual target or subject. Also, I find that when it comes to hex working, or in order to place a hex upon someone, it takes a very strong intention, right? It's somebody that is very angry with you, that wants retribution. So you are now hexed because of it. It uses a lot of strong emotions as well when it comes to hexing someone. A hex can sometimes also cause the punishment or the issues to happen very quickly. So you could be someone that just got that job and now you've lost it. You just came into a large sum of money and now that money is gone. It's very quickly. It's not usually over time. In my experience, I've seen hex work where it's very quickly done. It damages the target, it damages the subject, damages the area, and then it dissipates, it goes away. So versus if you notice with the Jinx, it's more of misfortune, it's kind of irritating, it's smaller things, it's not causing chaos and destruction within your life and then moving on. Now we're going to move on to curses. Okay, so when it comes to a curse, this is probably the most extreme out of the four. I feel like a curse is that last resort. If you have followed me along on my channel, I'm not a huge fan of any baneful work, so just want to put that disclaimer by the way. I'm just not a fan of any of it. This is just, it's a lot of work to do any of these things. And if you have to do all of that, I don't even think it's worth it in my opinion, but hey, to each their own. Let's go on. A curse can last for a very long time. In my opinion, out of the four, a curse is probably the strongest spell that you could actually do and put onto someone. It can last a lifetime. It can last generational. It is very difficult to break. It's probably very severe when it comes to curses. Curses can cause a whole bunch of destruction. It can cause death. It can cause droughts. It can cause all kinds of messed up things that are it just messes up your life. Everything's out of balance. And why I'm not a huge fan of curses is that it's very, in my opinion, very unnatural. Everything is just out of whack. Things that should not be actually happen, and it's just a lot. So just think of a curse. It is very severe. We're talking about, it is the hurricane. Okay, a hex would be a tornado. We're looking at a curse as a hurricane. It comes through and it's obliterating everything in its path. And just like a hurricane, it can stay in one place and just keep on causing issues, from flooding and lights out and all of those kind of damaging things that you think a hurricane can do. That's how I view a curse. A curse comes through and it's very severe. It's messing up. It's catastrophic. It messed up your whole life, and it can continue, right? It's not so easy to break. It doesn't disappear or dissipate. It can go on until, you know, the target and subject is no longer, or it just continues on to generations upon generations upon. The way that I also like to look at a curse is that you are making the target or the subject a super magnet that is just attracting every negative thing that you can think of, every bad scenario. It happens to them and it doesn't stop. It just keeps on. It's never ending to the very end, till the actual next generation and the generation and the generation after that. You know, and I'm not trying to like make light of it. I want you to know how severe a curse is. So if you are cursing someone, it is with strong emotion, strong determination, strong intention. Everything is strong, and it's obliterating that target, that subject. It's just and never ending. Okay, so just think of that as a curse. It is a hurricane coming through, destroying everything. And a curse can cause severe emotional and physical damage. Okay, sometimes when it comes to jinxes, it's usually emotional because you're attached to something and it's just causing some issues. When it comes to hexes, that could do some emotional damage, some physical damage, but it's not detrimental. It's not just going to just destroy you. When it comes to a curse, it is severe emotional trauma, severe physical trauma. So just think of that as a very high level of energy, magic, all of the above. It's coming through and it's wrecking up everything. And for me, I feel like a curse is it's straight torture. It is torture for your subject, torture for that family, torture for their lives, torture for the generations to come. It is straight torture. So if you are cursing someone, bless you. I'm staying in my lane. And the last one I want to go over is the evil eye, also called the bad eye, but most times it's called the evil eye. At least what I've come across, it's the evil eye. Some places it's called the bad eye or the ill eye. But I'm just going to call it the evil eye just for this video and for purposes of just reference. When it comes to the evil eye, in my opinion, it is a combination of all three of those things that I just went over. Okay, so it can be the strength of a jinx, or strength of a hex, or even the strength of a curse. And this is why I think the evil eye can be very dangerous, because it comes from envy. It's usually jealousy. And can you imagine that you are accidentally hexing or jinxing or even cursing someone just by the evil eye? Now, the difference between the jinx and the hex and the curse, and why the evil eye kind of sets apart from those, is that the evil eye requires the actual practitioner, the witch, to actually see the subject. Their eyes have to meet the gaze upon the subject or the target, okay? Whether it's a picture or whether it is in real life, their eyes have to actually see the actual target or subject in order to cast that evil eye upon them. In history throughout the world, you'll see a lot of talismans that avert it or go against the evil eye, or it's an anti-evil eye charm. There's a lot of spells to keep it from going on to you. You'll see a lot of designs and jewelry, and throughout history, you'll see it on walls of different places and temples and so forth. I don't want to go into the whole history of the evil eye, because this isn't an evil eye video, but I just want you to be aware that that is also another version of a baneful workings that I put in the same category, and why I say it's a hybrid, or it can be all three, is because depending on how much jealousy or envy, remember I told you with curses, it is severe, it is strong emotion and intention. Imagine that you are so jealous and so envious of someone, and every time you see them, you're casting that. You're cursing someone, you're cursing their next generation. Maybe they're the person that you hate ended up having a kid, and then you automatically hate that kid too, just because it's the offspring of the subject or target of your envy or that jealousy or that hate for them. So you look at the child the same way. You view them as something that is threatening or should be destroyed. Or envy that's within your heart and within you, you can unintentionally curse someone, unintentionally hex them, or you can cause ill and misfortune just by having that much envy and jealousy within you. So emotions causes a lot of magic, in my opinion. They're very strong, can cause a lot of change within the person and also in their universe, their world. So can you imagine that I'm viewing you, I'm looking at you with envious eyes, with hateful eyes, with jealous eyes? It is going to hex them. It is going to cause some sort of chaos within that person's life. And so that's why there's a lot of charms out there. The premise behind it is that it stops the evil eye, stops that jealousy, that bad intentions from coming onto you. There are a lot of spells out there that you can return it back to the sender or take it off of you. Cleansings also help with the evil eye. So taking off the evil eye isn't as hard. Now, the curse, on the other hand, that's another story. Curses, they're very sticky. They kind of stick to you. It's kind of like when you clean one thing, it's kind of still on you. It takes a while to break sometimes, in my opinion, and it's very, very difficult. But knowing these baneful workings, it helps you also do anti-baneful workings. So it helps to protect you from these things. So just think, with the evil eye, it is something that is a combo of all three of those things. It is something that was within you that can be casted unintentionally or intentionally, depending on the actual user or caster. Well, earthy people, I hope you liked today's video. I'm hoping that it gives you some information that maybe you didn't know or weren't too sure of. May that information help you create protective spells, get more knowledge on those things. When it comes to jinxes, hexes, curses, and the evil eye, it's not very often that you come across a curse. It takes a lot of energy. I didn't make this video so that you can overthink and think that you're cursed. It's used a lot in mainstream society to tell someone that you're cursed, and it's more than likely not even a curse. It's more likely to be a jinx, to be honest. But with this information, use it wisely, and as always, love yourself and others. Stay earthy, stay magical. Bye for now.